Welcome to the Baldis Basics Iceberg, Tier 1, Baldi dabbing / old Baldis Basics Plus ending. Baldis Basics Plus is a second game of Baldis Basics, released in June of 2020. It was just a complete version of the first game. There's more modes, challenges, NPCs, items. I mean, this game had a crazy amount of content. But on launch, there was something missing when you got to the end of the main mode. Instead of a normal ending, you would get this instead.
Someday you'll get a satisfying, canonical, and exciting ending that you deserve. Today is not that day. Oh god, he's dabbing.
Placeface. Placeface is a placeholder model / occasional Easter egg character that appears in weird places, such as in Baldis Basics Classic, the original game. He could be found in the test room, and in the Birthday Bash, the 1-year anniversary of the game, in the glitched school. He can also be found in the remastered story mode, and most creepy of all, in the demo of the Baldis Basics camping mode, he can be seen in this door, way out of bounds as an Easter egg. Null / secret ending. This is Null, and the normal ending for Baldis Basics. When you go up to him, he'll speak with a really terrible mic quality that sometimes just peaks, and he'll tell you that you have to delete the game and stop playing. And that ending is creepy, but what's weird is that that's the creepier of the two endings, the normal one. In the secret ending, you just approach Baldi at the end and he teaches you different math problems. Principle in the camping demo. Instead of heading out the yellow doors at the start of the camping game mode demo, instead, if you turn around, you'll see a wall saying the demo ends here, and you can't do anything with that, but if you go to the other end of the hall and try walking through that wall, you'll get a series of walls warning you to go back as you go through them. If you go to the very end, you'll see the principal from the normal game, and he'll say,
"No breaking the fourth wall in the halls."
Secret Chalkboard. If you go outside of the map in the Birthday Bash mode of Baldis Basics, you'll be able to see a hidden chalkboard. On this chalkboard, it just says, "This program is cancer," with the number 99 all over it. The number 99 appears a lot throughout the game, so it seems like there's some lore meaning to it. But we'll get to that in a later entry. Official mobile version. Not a whole lot to say about this entry, but there is an official mobile version of Baldis Basics. It hasn't gotten an update since October of 2023, but if you don't have a PC that can run this game, you can always download it on your phone. Kickstarter exclusive demo. Before Baldis Basics Plus came out, there was a Kickstarter for it, and while this happens to be the most rare version of the game, as it's no longer available. You had to support the Kickstarter with $30 or more to get a Steam key for the game that you'd think, I can just buy it, but no, and maybe pirate it, but you can't do that either. If you try to pirate this version of the game, you'll be met with this traumatized looking image of Baldi. So yeah, that's the worst thing I've ever seen, but there wasn't a whole lot different with this version of the game. In general, it's basically what Baldis Basics Plus was, but with a lot less features. The creator of Baldis Basics, Mistman12, or I'll probably just refer to him as Mistman throughout this video, also went out of their way to go and try and prevent spoilers as much as possible, whether it be actual gameplay or screenshots. He was very intent on making sure no one got spoilers out. 3:17:18 and 53:04:50:09. When you go to do the math problems in the notebooks in Baldis Basics, you'll be able to type whatever numbers you want into the pad. Some combinations of numbers are actually cheat codes, like these. But the main two, at least for this entry, are these top two here, where in the first one, it'll teleport you to the test room where, as previously mentioned, you can find Placeface, and in the second, it'll swap the gravity, so you stick to the ceilings instead. Baldis Basics Plus Early Access Trailer. From what I could find, there wasn't a whole lot weird about this trailer, but at the end, Baldi keeps repeating, "Get ready," before flashing this image for about 3 frames. Very creepy to say the least, but if you look closely, you can sort of tell there's a black outline of a number. That number is 99. Baldi the Musical. Just like every other indie horror game that got big, there's a music video for it. And well, in the grand scheme of games music videos, this one is pretty well done. It's live action, which is odd for these types of videos, but it's good. Not much else to say about this, but it's a really good music video. Rare death screen. Unlike with the other Baldi games, the remaster has a rare death screen that will actually close your game. In other games, you'll have a screen that it'll send you to the main menu, but there's a rare chance in the remaster that you'll get a screen saying, "Oh no, a critical error has occurred. The game will now close," and it'll completely close your game. Sonic Schoolhouse inspiration. Sonic Schoolhouse is a Sonic game made for kids in 1996. It's made for, well, educational purposes, and if you haven't noticed, yeah, it looks a lot like Baldis Basics. Here's the creator even posing with the cover for that game. So it's a very obvious influence for Baldis Basics, and well, the creator of Baldis Basics loved that style. And I mean, if the style wasn't similar enough, look at these covers. It's pretty clear. And the creator has gone out and said that yes, it's a very, very big explanation. Baldi Default Dance. Baldis Childhood. Baldis Childhood is a two-part animated series of how Baldi grew up and started to learn the things he does in the game. It's all fan-made, so it's not canon, but it would make sense. I mean, nothing in this really goes against canon in the games, but most animated shorts for these games aren't received nearly as well as this one is, with this one getting 19 million views. So it was for sure popular and a lot of players knew about it, so I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of people had this as their sort of headcanon for the game. File Name 2. File Name 2 is the other name for the character Null, the character at the end of Baldis Basics that warns you to close the game and not play it. If the player waits for him to finish his dialogue at the end of the game, which, well, is a lot, you'll end up crashing your game. Me is a hidden Easter egg in the remaster. Once you beat the glitch style mode of the game, you'll be met with him standing in front of you, him being Micah McGonagall, the developer of Baldis Basics, or Mistman12 as his username. It's a nice reward for beating the glitch mode, but he also appears on the board for the text that says, "Where is 99?" 99 is a bigger thing later on, but you'll see it a lot. Baldis Basement. Baldis Basement is a secret level in the remaster of Baldis Basics. Stamina is infinite in the basement, and any item you bring with you, you won't be able to use. Down in this basement, you'll be able to enter a room with a shrink machine. Once you enter this room, you'll be locked inside with Null, who gives you a monologue about how you shouldn't be down here, then he crashes your game. But if you beat Null prior to entering this room, you'll see Baldi inside of the shrink machine instead. He'll ask you for help in testing the machine, and once successful, he'll send you back to the main menu of the game. 99. The number 99 appears everywhere in Baldis Basics. All the doors in the game are labeled 99. The wave that Baldi does in the files is named Baldi Wave 0099. The image that I showed earlier from the trailer with the 99 covering it. Basically, this number appears everywhere, and we don't know why. Personally, I think 99 may be hinting at a secret character, especially with this board saying "Where is 99?" but we'll see later. Tier 2. Kickstarter Posters and Plus. In Baldis Basics Plus, there's posters around the school that are odd to say the least and sort of stick out. These posters were actually fan-made. Kickstarter backers who donated $500 or more got to put their own poster into the game. Personally, I think this is one of the coolest things a game developer could do. It obviously, reels in a lot of money, but it also lets fans put their own custom stuff into the game if they feel the price is warranted. Placeholder Textures in Plus. These are the textures used to make different rooms and locations in Baldis Basics. There's not a whole lot weird or complex about them, but in earlier versions of Baldis Basics Plus, they would sometimes appear in different locations under development. Dave's Algebra class. Dave's Algebra class is a Baldis Basics mod turned individual game. It's a lot different, with pretty much no NPCs being the same from the base game and the entire map looking different. I mean, the principal is an alien now, like completely different game. New items, and it's weird with an overhauled map, and well, now the remastered version of the game is free on Steam. For sure one of the most popular mods for this game as well. Baldimore Comics. Before the development of Baldis Basics started, the creator of the game, Mistman12, created comics about Baldi. These comics were called Baldimore Comics, that took place in Baltimore in real life, inspired by his sister making her own comics. There's not too much crazy about these, but there is a lot of lore and certain characters that did and didn't make it into the game. One of the key ones that made it into the game is Dr. Reflex. In the comics, he just, tested the reflexes of Baldi, but he's a pretty well-known character in the game now. Joe's Ultimate Bus Ride. Joe's Ultimate Bus Ride is a project that the maker of Baldis Basics was working on prior to the game jam that inspired Mistman to make and submit Baldis Basics for. This game was a virtual pinball game that was ultimately abandoned but put into Baldis Basics as an Easter egg. First prize is Text-to-Speech. A character that pushes you down the hall that's not nearly as crazy as a broom is first prize. He's insanely fast, and he's the only character in Baldis Basics to have a completely text-to-speech voice. The text-to-speech is from the 1991 program Dr. Dr. Sabaitso, I can't say it, good luck. But yeah, it's from that, and it's really cool to actually use an older program like this for a new game that's obviously styled to be more 90s like. Baby Baldis Basics and Adventures with Friends. Baby Baldis Basics was an April Fool's prank done by the maker of Baldis Basics in 2020. Didn't come out since, well, it was an April Fool's prank, but the day that it was supposed to come out, this upset baby Baldi was uploaded by the creator. Advanced Education with Victor Strabowski is a fan game instead of mod, and while this game plays very similar to Baldis Basics, but the map is entirely different. The problems to solve are different, also don't pause your game. The items are different, and well, Baldi isn't even in this game. Instead, it's this guy named Victor chasing you, with an axe, so quite a bit scarier. It's very unique, and I like that it wasn't just a Baldi reskin of the game. But yeah, this game is extremely well made and scary, and I recommend you try it out. Badum. This is Badum, the character that appears if you pirate the Kickstarter demo or if your save ends up getting corrupted. Not a whole lot to say about this character, as it's basically just a blue version of Baldi, but very cursed to say the least. Zeroeth prize. Just like how there's a first prize, this character, there's a Zeroeth prize. This guy. This is an Easter egg character in the Birthday Bash version of Baldis Basics. He has a striking resemblance to a certain plumber Nintendo made, which I think is why he didn't return in the remastered version of Baldis Bash. At least I can see that being a reason with how Nintendo is. But yeah, this character doesn't do anything. They just sit at the end of a hall with no interactions, but they do exist. Test Dithered. This is Test, or Test Dithered in the files, a character in Baldis Basics Plus. The Test head is a strange floating, bald human-like CGI head with an extended neck ended with what appears to be a prism shape. When the Test comes across a player, he'll lock the player in place and force them to look at him for 5 seconds. During this time, the head will rise up, and once the countdown is over, the Test will gain the ability to move, and he'll only move when the player isn't looking at him, like a sort of Weeping Angels-like situation. If the player walks into another hallway while looking at the Test, he'll pause his movement until he catches up with the player in his line of sight again. If and when the Test catches up to the player when they're not looking, the player will be blinded, with most of the school being covered in black fog. This will last 2 minutes and make it extremely hard to see any NPCs or items. Tier 3. Valentines Cards. Valentines of 2020, these Valentines cards were made and posted by the Basically Games Twitter account. Not creepy or anything, just some wholesome Valentines cards. Cough in Johnny's store. There's a theory about Johnny's store in Baldis Basics Plus. Johnny runs a store between levels where you can buy different items with the score that you've gotten. Johnny will occasionally mention his parents and that they would have been proud of him for making different sales. Okay, yeah, the situation must be bad, his parents aren't with him anymore, but a lot of people have speculated a bit differently. There's different things that sort of hint to something weird going on, or at least Johnny not completely telling the truth about him being by himself. And the biggest one of these hints that fans have latched onto is this coughing. The coughing is, well, for sure somebody else with him in the building, and some fans believe that this person could possibly be held hostage. For now, we don't fully know, but something weird is for sure going on. Spoop Balloons. Baldloons, or Spoop Balloons as they're called in the files, are Baldi-esque entities that appear in the Baldis Basics Birthday Bash and remastered versions of the game. They're very unique as entities, but one sort of sticks out. The red is the only one that'll go and chase you down. If it gets too close, it'll do this and crash your game. The rest are just sort of chill, they don't do a whole lot. But the red, way different. Tim Tom. Tim Tom is a cut piece of content revolving around this guy, Tim Tom, a character that in the comics just threw baseballs at Baldi. He was originally going to appear in the game, but ended up getting cut. Tape recordings. There's a tape player in Baldis Basics that can play a tape called Baldi's Least Favorite Tape. When you play it, it'll make Baldi and Dr. Reflex deaf for 30 seconds, which is for sure nice, as they won't be able to hear what doors you open and where you go around the school, but there's no other tapes in the game. For whatever reason, they were cut, and this is the only tape that exists. DSCI0000 is the name of a square image file of Baldi in a blue shirt appearing to be all glitchy and all disturbed. This image only appears in 2 places in the series, the first time appearing after you finish the Baldloon puzzle, randomly replacing wall textures around the school, and the second on this conspiracy board, where it's asking, where is 99? And a whole lot of other things related to Baldi and this 99 are being connected together. Banana Joe Whistle. This iconic whistle that the principal does in the game may sound familiar if you're an Amazing World of Gumball fan, as the whistle that Banana Joe does in the show is the exact same. Gotta reap. The farm is now a cut field trip in Baldis Basics Plus. Field trips are different outings you could do with Baldi, like one being camping for example, but this one was on a farm, which when it was available you'd have to navigate through a corn maze with this entity called Gotta Reap chasing you down. Very similar to the broom that says gotta sweep instead. The farm ended up getting cut, but it's said to be replaced by something in the future. Whether it's a new version of the farm or something completely different, we don't know yet. Kirkland Signature Protein Bar. The candy bar in Baldis Basics, the energy-flavored zesty bar, confirmed by Missman, is a Kirkland signature protein bar. The reason it appears all weird in the game, aside from, it being pixelated, is that the picture of it was taken on a green screen. Vents. In the files of Baldis Basics Plus, there's a texture called Vent, but it's the same texture as the conveyor belts. So originally there was most likely going to be vents in the game, but they got scrapped, and their textures later used for conveyor belts instead. Light Test Room. In the files of Baldis Basics Plus, you can find the Light Test Room. You can't normally get here, but if you use certain mods, it's pretty easily accessible. Not much is here, aside from a couple of machines and playtime and Baldi. What good is a cipher if there is no contextual justification for its existence? A mouthful of an entry, but this secret code was found in the files of Baldis Basics, discovered shockingly recently. When decoded with a Visionaire cipher, and for the key of the cipher, using null in all caps, this long string of nonsense translates into, what good is a cipher if there's no contextual justification for its existence? Tier 5. Placeface is a me. Placeface, this guy, may look a bit familiar to you, and that makes sense because he was modeled after a me. Of course, it was changed quite a bit, but yeah, completely modeled after a me, which leads us to our next entry. Placeface is Joe. Yeah, basically Joe is an older character of Mistman that was modeled after this original me. Baldi would open a pizza place. This entry is referring to a tweet made in 2021 that was of an AI image that generated Baldi having his own pizza place, which, yeah, AI in 2021 was pretty bad, so it's a bit hard to tell, but Mistman himself replied Baldi would open a pizza place. Possibly hinting at a new game? I don't know. Personally, I just think it'd be a cool side game mode to have, even if it wasn't a new game. Tier 6. Impossible Baldis Basics Plus Seeds. With a possible 4,294,967,231 possible seeds, there are bound to be some seeds that are entirely impossible. It's extremely rare that you'll come across this. I've never come across one personally, but sometimes you just can't beat a level. And for the last entry, Origin of 99. Until now, I even thought the origin of the number 99 in Baldis Basics was lost, but it turns out that in 2023, Mistman revealed where it was from. The crop 99 originates from a screenshot of Donkey Kong Country corrupted with a vine sauce corruptor. If we zoom in here, yeah, that's the 99. Mistman himself confirmed that this is where it came from, and well, the comments went a bit crazy to say the least. Thank you guys so much for the support on the recent videos. It's my birthday as I finish doing this script, so if you want to give this a like or subscribe or anything, I wouldn't necessarily mind. But yeah, thank you so much. Seriously, it's meant the world to me. Check out the community tab so you can vote on the next Iceberg. And yeah, have a great rest of your day, week, month, and I'll see you in the next video.